The US strikes on Iran have apparently backfired when it comes to another adversary of Washington. According to some Chinese media reports, the conflict might convince Beijing to speed up the development of long-range bomber aircraft. This is similar to the ones used by America to attack Iran. Well, joining us now from Beijing is Soochow University professor Victor Gao. Thank you so much for your time here on RT International. Just want to talk about this recent escalation in that conflict that we saw a few days ago. But we've now got the US, we've got Israel, we've got Iran. They're all claiming they won the war. Who do you think actually gained the most from this conflict?
I think, first of all, this war was initiated and started by Israel against the sovereign and independent country of Iran. So that war launched by Israel is a war of aggression. And the fact that it took place in the middle of the negotiation between the United States and Iran, and the United States allowing Israel to use the U.S.-Iranian negotiation as a camouflage makes this surprise attack even worse. I've called the Israeli surprise attack very much like the Japanese surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Now, the United States, through President Trump, denied its involvement, denied its role. Then he reversed himself. Eventually, he said, yes, the United States fought together with Israel, shoulder to shoulder. And he went in with all these Buster bombers and also the submarine-launched missiles. Now, this illustrates that President Trump has really lost his credibility. He contradicted himself again and again and again. And whether he chose to fight with Israel on his own volition, or whether Prime Minister Netanyahu managed to pull him into this war, history will really tell us the more detailed versions. So, to make the long story short, the US war against Iran, the Israeli war against Iran were wars of aggression, and Iran has full justification to fight back in self-defense. Now, look at what happened in Israel. The Iron Dome proved fruitless in front of the barrage of missiles and drones launched by Iran, and I don't think Israel has suffered more damage than this time compared with several decades before. Now, the United States used all its B-2 bomber and also other military weapons against Iran, but by the end of the day, when the dust settled, Iran claimed that its nuclear facility did not suffer mortal damages, and they still managed to keep the enriched uranium, allowing Iran to continue with whatever they want to do with the enriched uranium for civilian use, hopefully, but for other purposes if they are forced to do. So I think fundamentally, if we look at this, Israel bought out for peace, which they could not choose, and the United States proved to be on the war of aggression against Iran.
Yeah, Mr. Gao, I just want to change the focus slightly for a moment and talk about these reports we're reading in the Chinese media that suggest that Beijing is looking at potentially speeding up the development of the long-range bombers to have the same strategic tools at its disposal as the US. I just wonder what you make of those reports.
I think these reports are ridiculous. China has never followed the footstep of any other country in terms of developing its sophisticated weaponry system. Most of these weapon systems are developed independently with the Chinese design and strategic thinking behind it. I think fundamentally China is a force for peace. China will never do wars of aggression against any other country like the United States has been doing for decades. And China depends on a very much merged philosophical paradigm, merging space and sky and land and surface water as well as submarine, 5 dimensions all merged into one. And China's military buildup is for self-defense. But if any other country wants to impose war on China, China will retaliate. And China will make sure that anyone which launches war on China will be destroyed by war. That's the Chinese philosophy. China never looks at how the Americans develop their system and try to imitate. No, China developed its own weapon system in anticipation of preventing a war with any other country and will still remain standing by the end of the day.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time and your insights into that. That's Soochow University Professor Victor Gao. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.